Scoodly doodly doo, it's time for another Welch review. Doodly doodly doo doo.
Oh, hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Welch Review. And today we're actually talking about a film that Sam showed me a couple years back on Netflix.
I am Sam.
It's him, it's the one and only.
Yes.
And this film is a Netflix original. It's called The Ritual. And The Ritual stars Rafe Spall as Luke, Arsher Ali as Phil, Robert James Collier as Hutch, Sam Trowen as Dom, and Paul Reed as Robert. And it was written by Joe Barton and Adam Neville, and it was based off of Adam Neville's book, and it was directed by David Bruckner. No real crazy big names. I think the biggest guy in there, at least that I've heard of, is Rafe Spall. He's in an Apple TV show called Trying. I haven't checked that out, but anyway, Sam, why'd you want to show me this movie?
So we watched kind of a lot of horror movies, and we already had Netflix, so I was like, yo, good horror movie that's on Netflix. Let's go. But anyways, a little bit on the plot. This movie is about a group of friends who ultimately go hiking in Sweden or Norway, something called the King's Trail. Sorry if I'm remembering that part inaccurately, but anyways, one of their friends twists an ankle and they decide, hey, let's make a shortcut through these creepy ass woods.
Mistake number one.
The whole reason why they're on this trip is because this group of friends who have been going on trips together
since uni, right?
Yeah, since university, or for us Americans, college. So they typically go on an annual boys trip, but this year things got a little messed up because one of their friends, who is going into a package store to pick up some alcohol, him and one of his other buddies, they went in together, but then only one came out because the store was getting stuck up, or held up, and one of the friends got caught in the crossfire while the other one hid. The one who hid is Luke, who's our main character. So basically they ultimately decide to honor their dead friend by going on the trip that he wanted to do, which was this hiking excursion. That's kind of a quick synopsis of the plot without giving away too much. But
because they certainly cross paths with some interesting events. Mm-hmm. And not to give things away, but going off the opening scene is this really you feel a lot of emotion real fast. At least I know I did. And then how they transition from the past into the the present trip, I thought was really well done by David Bruckner. That was a really sound choice in how to sum up what happened and instantly bring you to where they are now.
Yeah, because they start with his friend dying, and then it goes into
Luke's
it goes into a zoom in on Luke, and then it opens up with a pan out, also focused on Luke, except instead of being in a package store, now he is in Sweden.
He's in a tent and the wind's rustling and he goes outside and it's just he was dreaming of it, and it was just really well done. Now of course you would think, going off trail in woods you don't know, probably not the best idea. So clearly these guys haven't watched a lot of horror movies in their daily lives. But once they go off path, right, that's kind of in life, once you go off the beaten path, everything kind of gets bad real quick, right? So while they're in the woods, they encounter a couple of other big no-nos. They see a crucified deer, they find a creepy cabin in the woods that they decide to stay on, that ultimately leads to this monster that's chasing them and trying to corral them to this cult civilization
thing that we're not going to talk about anymore.
Right. And that's as far as we'll go with that. Not only is this a horror movie, right, that has cult and a monster, it's also a take on a personal level, right? what happens when people stop being friends, right? How do friendships deal with loss? How do people grow up or deal with the mistakes they've made?
Yeah. Come to terms with their guilt.
Right, that's
Yeah.
I wish I said that.
Yeah. So basically, a lot of the friend group blames Luke for the death of their other friend. Most of them blame him secretively, right? They're not like outwardly saying, you murdered our friend or it's your fault that he died, but one of them kind of is.
Dom's the one who outwardly is like, this is your fault. I think Robert's the name of their dead buddy.
Yeah. So anyways, Dom is he acts like that for a lot of the beginning of the film, which is the source of a lot of tension and a lot of the bad decisions. Actually, Dom is pretty much the source of all the bad decisions that are made in this film.
Oh, him and Hutch.
Well, yeah, but Dom's bad leg is the reason why they go into the woods.
Right.
Dom, after being in the sketchy house for a night, is the one who gets spooked real bad, and he decides to go down this sketchy trail that isn't on any map and is going in the wrong direction. Dom's anger and thick-headedness is what gets them into trouble just all the time.
Right.
And Luke, our protagonist, and him are always butting heads, until later on in the film, where their relationship gets sorted out through very tragic means. We won't explain that anymore. So while it is an example of how friendships die, it's also it also explains how, like, when you need to rely on somebody, some of your other issues kind of wash away
And fade to black.
Yeah. Fade away, and you kind of start to do what you need to
move on.
to survive.
Yeah. I thought it was a really good movie. I think its premise is really great. It starts off kind of like real small and then builds in scale as it goes.
Yeah.
It's well contained. It doesn't have a ton of not a ton of cast members, but like those that they do have, they do work really well. Like, I believe that they were all friends, since college.
Point, yeah.
So they did a really good job with that. Won't get too into descriptions of things. I think the monster, per se, could have been a little bit better.
Definitely one of the weakest links.
It was a really weird at one point. Like, it looks like a turkey. Like, it has a turkey head. Like, I'm talking like a Thanksgiving, cutting that kind of turkey, not like it's got the flappy thing right here.
Yeah.
So that's like, that thing's a little weird. But like the rest of it, like once they get into this cult civilization, this colony that's also a cult, that's pretty cool. I mean, it'd be cool if they stayed there a little longer, right? Like,
they don't really flesh it out as much as they could.
Like that, it's definitely a cool part of the descending action. But it could have been, like you said, fleshed out just a smidge more.
That being said, a lot of the stuff that happens in that colony, while it's not very well spelled out, they go through pretty decent lengths to show what happens in this cult and how their religion works and how their faith and worship works, and like the punishments for not following the faith, not doing what you're required to do. So while the dynamics there could have been figured out much better, they do some like very, very good what's it called? Not subliminal messages, but
like they show more than tell.
That's like more environmental, right?
Like within the scene, they show it more.
Well, yeah, like they show their culture. They don't necessarily explain it.
Okay.
And I know there's words for that, but my brain isn't working with words right now.
No, and I like, this is definitely something I think you benefit from watching more than once.
Yeah.
Like, it took me, I think, at least two to three times now that I've watched it, where I finally get like what was going on, like how the cult operated and like how the elders in it worked. So it's definitely something you should watch multiple times, and it's a good movie. You know, it's definitely worth it. And Halloween's around the corner, and let's face it, finding good horror flicks on Netflix is not an easy task.
No.
You know, but I'd say it's a solid movie.
Yeah, definitely check it out. The Ritual. My dad hated it, but you know, I think he's wrong. At least this time.
Just once.
Yeah.
But anyway,
solid film.
This has been the Welch Review, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.